Everyone knows Zeus as the almighty king of Olympus. But here's the question you don't often hear. Was Zeus really a hero, or just another tyrant who learned to hide his fear? Stay with me, because this story is not just about thunder and lightning. It's about fear, betrayal, and power. It's about what happens when the child of prophecy becomes the ruler of gods.
Zeus was not born into safety. He was born into terror. Cronus, his father, devoured each of his children the moment they were born. Not out of cruelty, but out of fear of prophecy. But when Rhea gave birth to Zeus, she refused to lose another child. She hid him in a cave on Mount Ida. The Curetes danced, clashing their shields, drowning out the infant's cries. The goat Amalthea fed him with milk. The nymphs rocked him to sleep. Personal thought for you. Imagine your entire childhood spent in hiding. Would you feel chosen or cursed? As Zeus grew, his power became undeniable. But raw strength alone was not enough. To overthrow Cronus, Zeus needed more than courage. He needed weapons worthy of a god. The Cyclopes, freed from Tartarus, answered his call. Forgers of divine power, masters of flame and stone. From their forge came 3 gifts for Zeus: the thunderbolt, lightning bound into a weapon; a shield of storms, defense as fierce as attack; and mastery over lightning itself, the element that would make Zeus the terror of gods and mortals alike. These were not just weapons, they were symbols, because a true king does not fight alone. He carries the power of those who believe in him. Zeus's first true trial was not war, but cunning. Cronus, arrogant and unsuspecting, drank deeply. The potion tore open his stomach, and from within him came the children he had swallowed. One by one they returned. Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, Poseidon. It was grotesque. It was rebirth, and together the siblings forged an alliance. The Olympians were born again. The revolt sparked the greatest war myth has ever told. The Titanomachy. For 10 years, the world trembled. The earth split open. The sky burned. The seas boiled. Cronus led the Titans, their bodies like mountains, their fury like storms. But the Olympians fought with weapons forged for victory. Zeus with his thunderbolt, Poseidon with his trident, Hades with his helm of shadows. The war raged day and night, neither side yielding. Mountains were weapons, rivers became battlefields. The sky itself was split between fire and storm. But Zeus was not only strength, he was strategy. He made alliances no one else dared. He freed the Hecatoncheires, giants with 100 arms. And he called on the Cyclops, masters of divine fire. The tide of war shifted. For the first time, the Titans began to falter. At last, the war reached its breaking point. The Titans were weary, the Olympians relentless. Zeus rose above the storm. In his hand, the thunderbolt blazed brighter than ever before. With one strike, he pierced through Cronus. Chains of destiny wrapped around the Titan king. The earth split open. Tartarus yawned wide, a prison for those who defied Olympus. Cronus was hurled into the abyss, his reign broken, his fear fulfilled. The prophecy was complete. The son had overthrown the father. And from the ruins of war, a new order was born. Zeus sat upon the throne of Olympus, king of gods, ruler of mortals. But power came with shadows. Zeus was not a gentle king. He ruled through fear as much as reverence. Prometheus defied him, stealing fire for mankind. For that, Zeus chained him to a mountain and sent an eagle to feast on his liver each day. Then came Typhon, a monster born of Gaia's rage, a storm of fire and chaos. Even Zeus faltered. Typhon stripped the thunderbolt from his hands. For a moment, Olympus trembled. But with cunning and the aid of Hermes, Zeus reclaimed his weapon, and with one final strike, he buried Typhon beneath Mount Etna. Even among the gods, Zeus was challenged. Hera, Athena, and Poseidon once conspired to bind him, but Zeus broke free, and his wrath nearly tore Olympus apart. These stories reveal a truth often forgotten. Zeus was not just a hero, he was a tyrant, a strategist, a storm wrapped in human flaws. Power alone was not enough to define Zeus. His desires shaped myths as much as his thunderbolt did. Zeus pursued mortals and goddesses alike, not openly, but through disguise. To win Europa, he became a bull, gentle, snow-white, carrying her across the sea. To seduce Danae, he became a shower of golden rain, piercing the prison her father built to keep her untouched. To conquer Leda, he transformed into a swan, a creature both fragile and deceptive. Each disguise was more than lust. It was about power. Zeus bending the world, shifting form to claim what he wanted. From these unions came legends. Heroes like Perseus, Heracles, and Minos. Children who carried both divine blood and mortal pain. Symbols of Zeus spread everywhere. The eagle, soaring as his sacred animal. The oak tree, rooted deep as his throne. And the lightning bolt, feared and worshipped alike. Zeus was not just a god of storms. He was a god of transformation. A reminder that power is never fixed. It changes shape to get what it wants. When Greek myth crossed into Rome, Zeus was reborn. They called him Jupiter. The Romans saw him not only as a storm god, but as the guardian of law, order, and empire. His temple on the Capitoline Hill became the heart of Rome. Every triumph, every oath, every war began beneath his gaze. But symbols of Zeus reached even deeper. The eagle, his sacred animal, became the banner of Rome itself. The oak tree, once his throne, became the symbol of endurance and divine justice. Even today we speak of thunderbolts of judgment, echoes of Zeus's weapon. But Zeus was more than myth. He became a psychological symbol. The father, the ruler, the shadow of authority. Carl Jung would call this the father archetype, a figure we both need and fear. In Zeus, we see the paradox of power, the hero who frees the world and the tyrant who rules it. That's why his story endures, because it isn't just about gods, it's about us, and how we wield the power we hold. So what do we make of Zeus, the child who escaped death, the warrior who toppled titans, the king who ruled Olympus? Was he truly a hero, or just another tyrant crowned by lightning? Maybe the truth is both, a savior and a ruler, a storm that protects and a storm that destroys. And maybe that's why his myth endures, because in Zeus we see ourselves, the parts of us that crave freedom, and the parts that fear losing control. So let me ask you, if you were Zeus, standing on Olympus, would you rule with thunder or would you choose something different? The choice, after all, is not just Zeus's, it's ours.